Servus my friends, welcome back to the Bavarian Outback. Today we talk a little bit about Bavarian tradition and Tracht. And it's very important to talk about the Lederhosen. You know, everything is important, the charivari is important, the knives are important, the clothes are important, dirndls are important, but the main thing, the basic thing, the Lederhosen. Without the Lederhosen there is nothing left. So let's talk about the Lederhosen and its history. You know, we talked about Bavarian knives and we talked about the Fuhrmannsbesteck, link up here, and we talk about the charivari in a next video, and today we talk about the Lederhosen. So the history of the Lederhosen starts very early. It was a multifunctional working trouser out of leather. There were two kinds. There were a short one and the long one, or the longer one. And the longer one was called Kniebundhosen. What means, if you say Kniebundhosen, that means a trouser that you tie under your knee. That's what it says. You know, all my favorite Lederhosen manufacturer, it's Himmel, Arsch und Zwirn. It's called something like heaven, ass and twine. And it's also a Bavarian saying. If you don't want to swear, then you say Himmel, Arsch und Zwirn noch einmal. So you are not swearing, but you are making clear that something's not right at the moment. So, Lederhosen, what's important? Important is how you recognize a good Lederhosen. Must be a strong, tough material. It's always made out of deer. A lot of deers. Main thing is the Hirsch. So that's this deer. Just for you to know. And don't buy a Lederhosen out of pork. I think pork is just the meat. I don't know how the skin of a pig is called. So you know what I mean. Not so important. Don't buy a pork or a pig Lederhosen. Buy a deer Lederhosen. And visit Himmel, Arsch und Zwirn, heaven, ass and twine. Link down here so you can start a tradition with your family. This is called the Hosenlatz. And believe me, it's so cool to use German words in the English language, because in the German language we also use English words and I really don't like it. So Hosenlatz, it's important for the boys and the girls, because the girls have to know how to get inside and the boys have to know how to get outside. Yeah, that's how it works. Then you have deer horn buttons. Excuse me, because it's always a little bit difficult for me to find all the special words, even for the pockets and the art and the way how you sew it and whatever. But I think you can understand what I'm talking about. Okay, we have the Hosenlatz. We have two pockets here. We have this one, that's the most important pocket. That's the knife pocket. You can put your knife or your Fuhrmannsbesteck. That means that's the knife and the fork from the cabin or wagon driver far behind in time. Next thing, it's tied here on the legs and it's tied here on the back. This one is called Zwickel. Zwickel means when you are going to party at the Volksfest or the Octoberfest or whatever Bavarian traditional thing you have, the maypole, whatever, that you fit inside your trouser in the beginning and in the end after 10 beers and some grillhändel. That means grilled chicken. Next thing, it's sewed. It's sewed very beautiful. We have a lot of different patterns and especially this company has the most beautiful ones of them all. Not a commercial, it's the truth, you know. I have to claim it as a commercial, but it's not, it's the truth, because everybody who knows my videos knows that I'm from the beginning a big fan of these lederhosen. So that's the next point. Don't buy a cheap lederhosen. Don't buy a lederhosen for 150 bucks, because you don't buy it for the reason or for something. It's a piece of art. It's something you can wear every day, and you should wear every day. It's a multifunctional working trouser, a very stable one, a very, very tough one. You can do everything with it. It holds blood, sweat, beer, dirt, whatever, a lot of things more. And the more you put your fingers on it, the more it's getting better and more Bavarian and more beautiful. Yes, I don't know the English word for this thing here. In Bavaria it's called Sacklanat. That means you sew the two pieces of leather together on the outside, put a piece of leather in between, and you don't have this thing in the inside of the trouser. So that's how you recognize a cool lederhosen. Story: 1913. King Ludwig II started to be a big fan of Bavarian traditions, and he don't want to let them fall apart. So he really supported all the traditional Bavarian things, and he also supported the Lederhosen and the Trachtenvereine. That means the clubs where you are wearing all these traditional stuff. Also in this year the church had big problems with the Lederhosen, so it was not allowed to go to church in Lederhosen and in Tracht, because the naked legs were too sexy for the church. Yeah, the big farmer pale white legs were too sexy, and so it was forbidden. And now it's tradition for a really Bavarian marriage that you go there in Tracht. The next interesting thing is everybody's questioning, what are the Bavarians wear underneath the lederhosen? Yeah, girls, come over, find out. That's what we have in common with the Irish and the Scottish people. So these are the main traditional and important things of wearing or buying a lederhosen. And as we all know, traditional things have to grow. You know, they start, you buy a lederhosen or a knife or a charivari, and it's getting bigger and bigger and more traditional and more beautiful. And it's also jumping from generation to generation, that the father gives it to his son and this son gives it to his son, and it's getting more impressive and more impressive. And it's some kind of memory, you know. You have to start liking your items more. Don't throw away so much stuff. Start to create cool things that you want to keep forever and for the next generation, and that you remember the traditional things, because it's very important to keep your traditions. Because if you don't start remembering and keeping on hold on your traditions, then in the end nothing is there anymore. Everyone sits at home on his television and playing games or whatever. So keep your traditions. Not only the Bavarians, keep your own traditions. That's important. Yeah, next thing about the lederhosen. Please, guys and girls, don't wear crappy shoes to your Tracht, to your dirndl, to your lederhosen. Please wear cool shoes, wear leather shoes. The normal traditional shoe is this one. It's called the Haferschuhe. You don't have to buy Haferschuhe if you don't want to. You can just wear leather mountain boots. I don't know if there's an English word for that. Of course there is, but I don't know it. Or another cool leather or cotton, whatever traditional shoe. But don't wear sneakers or plastic shoes, and don't wear Chucks or something like this. And if you don't want to afford cool traditional Bavarian shoes, go barefoot. Just go barefoot. Barefoot looks much better than wearing crappy plastic sneakers. That's important. Yeah, don't come over with your plastic sneakers and don't buy a lederhosen for 150 bucks. Buy something that you can give to the next generation. So traditions should be kept traditional, but they are growing, they are changing, they have to adapt to the actual times. So that's important. So start liking your things. Don't throw away so much. Don't buy crap, then you don't have to throw away so much. Check out my friends at Heaven, Ass and Twine, Himmel, Arsch und Zwirn in Bad Wiessee, if you want to have a real cool lederhosen. Yeah? Now we are almost at the end of this video, and I hope you liked it. I hope you liked the Bavarian traditions, and I hope you want to have more videos about the traditions, about clothing, about knives, about parties, about maypole, about the Volksfests, you know. I just can say, don't buy crap, then you don't have to litter so much. And see you next time in the Bavarian outback. Bye bye.